I would like to begin with, like in Europe, when in 14th century the popes were stronger, they had more power. They said that earth is flat. If you walk, you are going to fall. But there were people who were actually not believing them, who wanted to go beyond, who tried various methods to search, research, they questioned, and ultimately they came to the conclusion with proofs that actually the earth was round and not flat. So, we need to understand that if it was not their courage to ask question, if it was not the questioning skills of these people, they would not have been the new horizons of knowledge open to us today. Thanks to them. So, as an educator, it is very important that we actually encourage the students to ask questions, to explore for new things, to innovate. Welcome, friends. So, today we are going to talk about the critical thinking skills, and also we are going to talk about 5 tricks in which, as an educator, we can help the students inculcate critical thinkings instantly, which is further going to enhance their evaluation power, their reasoning power, and their problem solving issues, how they do it in future life. So, very first tip or trick, as you can see, is question everything. These children should be taught to ask questions and not to just take things as they are being told. They need to dig deeper. They should be able to research, search on whatever facts they get. Like they should be able to ask questions why, how, and what if. So, friends, I would like to invite here Miss Deepika. She would guide us on how we can inculcate critical thinking skills in economics. But as I mentioned, remember that these, whatever the points are being explained here, they can always be moderated to suit our subject. So, here we go. Welcome, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. So now let's talk about the critical thinking, how to inculcate critical thinking in economics amongst our senior students. Critical thinking, as we've already discussed enough about it, it is the way to analyze and understand the different concepts of any subject. In economics, I always say that it's not within the four walls of classroom, rather it is all around us. Outside, everywhere we have economics. So if we are able to develop the critical thinking skill amongst our students, economics teaching and understandings becomes quite easier, quite analytical, and helps students to solve various problems. When they grow up, this learning helps them a lot in tackling various issues throughout their lives. So, small examples which I'll give you through my slides, through my PPT. The examples are simple and basic examples for class 11th and 12th students, which can help them in brainstorm and understand what economics is all about. The first technique is discussions and group studies. The more we encourage students to discuss on various topics and do a group study, they learn faster and they also provide support to each other in learning. The debates in the class, the group discussions in the class, the brainstorming in the class, it helps them to understand various topics. For example, we can give them a topic of stock market. So how they can do the research and they can see how the share prices are rising and falling. And then from their examples, from their research, you can make them understand the meaning and the trends in the stock market. Another example can be a survey or a visit. A visit to a bank. Before you introduce the chapter bank or banking, you take them or you ask them to visit a bank, talk to the officials, and let them know that how various people in the banks work, how do banks work, and what are the various functions the people sitting in the bank do. So once they get to know practically hands-on experience from the banks, and the next very day when they come back to the class and you introduce the term bank and tell the various function, the learning is very, very fast and they have already analyzed and they've already researched on the bank. So it becomes very, very easy for them to understand. The next example we can give them to understand various topics. Like there's a topic of, there's a chapter of Indian economy in which it is shown that India was exploited and it was backward because of the exploitation done by the Britishers. Now, for this, again, the children have to be made thoughtful that how and why did this all happen. Just create their interest and to let them think themselves, ask them to watch movie Lagan, which is the best example that how our poor farmers were exploited and they were sufferers at the hands of the British landlords. So once they have watched the movie, they have an idea in their mind that how the things were and why our country remained a backward agricultural country. So again, you have an edge. The students will learn faster, and from the clippings of those short movies and videos, they will be able to examine and critically analyze the situation. Next is the role play. Role play in the market. You teach the topic market, and in the market, when the students are to be taught about the concepts of cost, revenue, and market forms. It's a bit difficult. The students will not easily understand, except for some students. So again, we have to tell them that what is the concept of cost, what is the revenue, and how do the markets work. So just create a small market-like scene in the class, selecting some students to act as the wholesalers, the shopkeepers, the manufacturers, and the consumers. So if you do that kind of a role play, the children will quickly understand how the things are valued, sorry, how the things are valued, how the product is priced, from the manufacturer's angle, how the goods are transported from the manufacturers to the wholesalers, and from the wholesalers, how it goes to the retailers and how it reaches the consumers. So what is actually the basic cost which a product is priced at, and what is the revenue which the entrepreneur earns in the end after selling the product. So such complicated things or confusing concepts can so easily be taught with the help of this kind of role play activities. Again, students will use their brains, they will ask you several questions, they will analyze the situation, and then readily and easily be able to understand and apply such kind of things in further concepts also. So these simple examples will definitely help them to take interest in economics, do the research work, examine the situations, examine the life around them, the real life examples, and they will definitely be very well versed in the critical analysis. Then we have another simple experiments to give them the knowledge of the simple concepts of perishable and semi-durable and durable goods. The students should be asked to bring certain things from home. Anything. You give them a list and they can bring anything. So when they bring the things in the class, that is the time where you can classify the different kinds of goods. And then they will realize that a good which has only a lifespan of 1 or 2 days, say fruit or vegetable, can be stored only for a day or two. So it's a perishable commodity. And the goods which can slightly have a longer life, say few months, it is a semi-durable good. And then there are goods which provide us services for many, many years. So such goods are durable. So your work is quite easier. You have made them understand the concept of perishable, semi-durable, and durable goods with a simple example. And another, to have to tell them the basic words: what are resources, what is scarcity, how do we make choices, and how do we make budgets. Ask them to get the money from home, a nominal amount depending upon the capacity of for them to bring money, say 50 rupees or 100 rupees, and tell them that with 100 rupees or with 50 rupees they have to buy the maximum goods, and only money they have is 50. So limited money is limited resource at their disposal. Now they'll have to think, they'll have to decide what choices they have to make. So choice, scarcity, budgeting, and how to make the maximum benefit out of it. Again, we are able to do that. So children will think, will analyze, will research, and use their resources in the best possible manner. Simple examples, even if such activities are unable because of paucity of time, then you can tell them that once they qualify their class 12 and they go to college, they have to assess the cost of various colleges. So how will they do? They'll have to see that what is their fee, what are their other charges, and compare to that what will be the benefits of going to a particular college. So this kind of research work, when they learn to do at the school level, will help them once they step out of the school. In the colleges, they'll be able to assess, decide, and take a decision as to which college has a comparative cost advantage over the other. So these basic things, these basic examples I have given, it is just a few examples because there is an unlimited number of examples we can take from daily life. We can take about as I said, about the stock market, banking, function of the banking. And similarly, there are so many things on which the students may be asked to do the research and debate. These debate activities, group studies, and brainstorming can definitely keep their brains alert, their minds alert. They will be developing how to analyze, how to arrive at the decision, and how to do the problem solving. So problem solving is the ultimate goal. Why we are doing all this critical thinking or analyzing or understanding? Because at the end we have to take decisions, and we have to solve certain problems. So what is the point of studying economics if we are not able to utilize it in our day-to-day lives when we grow up? So the problem solving and decision making will be developed with these simple basic activities and basic strategies which the teachers would adopt in the class. So in the classroom, these small things, and beyond the classrooms, economics is everywhere. Keeping this in mind, I definitely am of this opinion that very, very basic thing, very, very basic examples, if you give in the classrooms to develop critical thinking, it will go a long way. And your aim to make a student, rank amongst the top students in economics will be fulfilled. And they will thank you for that, because they will be the ones who will be capable enough to take all economic related decisions of their life once they are out of the school. So thank you. And that's all from my side.
Thank you, ma'am. Very well said. That when the children they go out to discuss, when they go out to visit the bank, or as you said, if they have a role play, they're going to understand the concepts better, and these concepts are going to last longer in their minds. So thank you very much. Thank you. Now looking ahead for everybody in the part 2, just support, subscribe, and be with us in the part 2 of this webinar. Thank you so much.